Beginning of December 1965, the night I first see the Grateful Dead. I'm promoting a family dog concert at California Hall. Around 11 o'clock, the inscrutable Owsley Stanley, the Acid King, shows up. I know him from various scenes in The Hate, where he would turn up a mysterious presence in cloaks and operatic hats, lurking and dispensing samples of his latest batch of acid to those he deemed worthy. Apparently, I am now one of the elect, because here he is, handing me a tiny misshapen orange barrel of LSD. Rock, come on over to the Fillmore later. There's something I want you to see, he says without telling me what it is. Everything is enigmatic with Owsley. I tell him I'll try and make it. Just be there, he says darkly. At the Fillmore, a scruffy group of musicians amble about the stage involved in what would become a trademark of their concerts, the interminable setting up and tuning of instruments. Formerly the Warlocks of Palo Alto, the MC announces in his Don Pardo voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Grateful Dead. They are a bad-looking bunch. Not your average hippy-dippy hate band, noodling away into the nanosphere. The most conspicuous member of the group is a greasy, overweight biker type in a headband, playing a Vox electric piano, standing up and wailing an old Howlin' Wolf song. The voice is full of whiskey and unfiltered cigarettes and bad company. Little hippie chicks in their tie-dyed saris shrink back from the stage. There's something vaguely unnerving about the lot of them, but it's hard to say what. Apart from the Hell's Angel dude, they really aren't all that mean looking, but man, are they weird. Your eyes dart from one to the other. Just how had such oddities gotten together in the first place? These are not covers in the usual sense of the word. In the midnight hour, the Wicked Picket's 2-minute, 40-second Stax Volt blast is stretched out for a quarter of an hour or more before modulating into early morning rain, complete with out-of-phase harmonies from the two guitar players. Early morning rain peters out midway in the second verse. No one can remember the words, and they're all too far gone to fake it. Deep, mellow blues. I have never before heard such a strange, sublime music. What is that sound? An hour or so into the set, and something very odd starts to happen. It's the room, Doctor. The room is breathing deeply, like a great sonic lung from which all sounds originate, which demands all the oxygen in the world. We inhale and exhale with it as if to the great collective heartbeat of an invisible whale. We're all under the hypnotic spell of that ghostly pulse. Whoever these guys are, they are uncannily tuned into the wavelength of the room. They hover over the vibe like dragonflies. The words, are they words? Are sweating, liquefying back into the images from whence they came. Little Mississippi Delta dioramas. Shotgun shacks, live oaks, gree-gree conjure women with yellow teeth, rotting porches, boll weevils, demon-haunted crossroads, rootless horse-mad heroes popping up between the words. It's the highest I've ever been. The roof is beginning to lift off the place. Admittedly, on a couple of hundred mics of Owsley acid, even this old man, played on a penny whistle, is going to sound pretty cataclysmic. I'm taking all of that into account, but still. As I'm leaving the Fillmore, Owsley grabs me by the arm. He wants to know what I think of the group. Groovy, I say, beaming the rest of the information directly through his third eye. I figure that should cover it. Owsley seems to have received the transmission. The octagon is in place, he replies. I'll pick you up tomorrow night, 10 sharp. The next night I climb into Owsley's Morris Minor, headed on God knows what cosmic errand. He hands me another of those orange barrels of sunshine, but this time I use my head. Since this is a business trip, I only take half. May I ask where we're headed? We will be approaching beautiful downtown Palo Alto. You mean that prankster deal at the Big Beat Club? No further information is available. So we're on our way to an acid test. From what I hear, these are hair-raising, all-night LSD parties where anything can happen. The Big Beat is some sort of prankster clubhouse, and I'm already in awe of Ken Kesey and his mob. Never trust a prankster is their motto, for God's sakes. The pranksters, Ken Babbs, Paige Browning, Mike Hagan, et al., are existential, practical jokers formed around novelist Ken Kesey. Their anarchic philosophy is based on the ingestion of LSD and freaking freely. Owsley, I don't know about this. Not to worry, he assures me. You're coming to hear a band. A band? The Dead. The Grateful Dead. You know, the guys you saw at the Fillmore last night? Oh, those guys, I say. They're the world's ugliest band. Forget about how they look. But man, that really is a big part of rock and roll. I mean, look at the Beatles, or forget the Beatles. Listen to me. All you have to know is the Grateful Dead are going to be the greatest band in the history of the world. Poor deluded man. How can I tell him? From my brief acquaintance with Owsley, I know better than to argue with him, even if I had enough brain function left to do so. He's decided that I'm just the person to manage this band. In 3 weeks, I've escalated from college dropout to make-believe promoter to rock manager. We pull up to the Big Beat Club, pure American ski lodge kitsch. Big lumbering A-frame with neon beer signs in the window. It's a bar on the weekends and a pizza parlor the rest of the week. The owners, having not a clue what an acid test is, are planning to sell a lot of drinks. They don't. There are screens and white stuff hanging around the place with non-stop mirages being flashed on them. Unreasonable advice is being barked out through the megaphone. Get naked, freak freely, kiss your brains goodbye, fuck sanity, and go crazy. Occasionally, Kesey whispers cryptic axioms over the sound system. Stay in your own movie. The Grateful Dead begin setting up. They are the house band at the Big Beat. You can see at once why the Dead and Kesey get on so well, given the mix of overwhelming cosmic stuff and laid-back days favored by both. When the Dead start playing, none of the prankster lunacy or tape loop sagas stops for 1 second. I try making a cold, professional assessment of the group while I still can. I begin taking inventory of the band members. Okay, there's the lead singer, a paunchy Hells Angels type with dirty hair down to his tits and greasy leather vest covered with mojo pins. There's a Mexican-looking guitar player with pyramid hair, a receding chin, and a missing finger. The bass player has a full Prince Valiant page boy do. There's the second guitarist, a startled, long-haired child who could be a girl. And then there's a surly, juvenile delinquent on drums. A sorrier-looking bunch you never saw. Just frightening, actually. You know they're never going to amount to anything. They just don't fit into any known concept of a rock and roll band. We are still in the era when there are only 2 acceptable ways for rock bands to look. The Brit invasion flash, or the matching outfit bit. You can get yourself up like a Revolutionary War foot soldier. You can even look like Nehru's bodyguard, but you can't look like this. Even an unbuttoned mock jug band like the Lovin' Spoonful has a look. But no one is ever going to get these guys into coordinated casuals or collarless jackets. They're good musicians, I'll grant them that, even if what they do is somewhat unclassifiable. These aren't songs in any conventional sense. They're catch-penny epics of noodling and circling riffs, holding patterns of songs. Garcia carries on these long, looping, musical, telepathic conversations with his guitar, and adjusting the flow from beat to beat, drifting from mood to mood. The idea seems to be to play everything but the tunes. Noodling it may be, but it's not your common or garden hate variety of noodling born of ineptitude. This is the inspired, consecrated noodling of the gods. I am mesmerized. This band will never get anywhere, but man, are they good. Okay.